What's going on? This is Don Van Staveren.
Bobby Jerzombek.
Mike Flintz. This is Tony Moore.
And this is Mark Reale.
We're Riot! And you're listening to Metal Express Radio!
Shine on!
Yeah, baby.
One of the gigs I was looking forward to the most during this year's Sweden Rock Festival was Riot's comeback gig with the Thundersteel lineup, and you guys really kicked ass. It must have been a great experience to be up there today.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually it's the second show we've done. We got together for the first time a couple of weeks ago, so it's we got some tuning up to do, but it was a lot of fun.
So what was it like playing the old songs again? I guess, well, Mark, I guess you have played those in between, but...
Only some of them. Most of them, with the other lineup, most of them we did, and only a couple. So a lot of them, it was first time playing in 20 years.
Yeah, I haven't sung any of this stuff in 20 years. So I actually started practicing 6 months ago when we decided that we were going to do this. And it took me that long just to get my voice in any kind of shape to be able to even approach this stuff. We've all been working furiously on our own, to get back in shape to play, because we've all done all kinds of different things in between. But this is some of the hardest stuff collectively that we've all ever done. So yeah, so we did our homework. We got together in Texas a couple of weeks ago. These guys got together before me and did a few rehearsals, and then I came in for 4 straight rehearsals, essentially sang the whole show, like 5 or 6 times in a row. Did a warm-up show in San Antonio, and then flew here to do this. That's it. We've only been the reunion has only physically existed, all of us in the same room, for like 2 weeks.
10 days probably. The guys standing behind me, I said before the gig, they were curious to see if you could nail everything you did back then vocally, but you sure did.
Yeah, well, we knew that the guys who really like this stuff were going to be listening for that, and so there's no slacking off. I mean, this stuff was all about nailing it. This is not about missing it.
For how long have you been planning this? You haven't rehearsed for very long, but when did you get the idea?
A year and a half ago, 2 years, a year and a half.
I mean, we had talked about it at different points. I mean, I think all of us sort of realized that this was the 20th anniversary, and it seemed to kind of I think me and Mark had a couple of conversations, and then I think it just seemed like everybody was sort of talking amongst each other about it, and we decided that it was the 20th anniversary last year, and it might be kind of a cool thing to do. It took a little while. It took a little longer to kind of put it all together with everybody, but I think that it was just kind of a feeling that I think all of us sort of had, that it would be a cool thing to do, and it's great because everybody was alive, everybody was ready to do it, everybody was feeling the same thing. So I think that was kind of fortunate that we all.
How come you ended up doing the gig here in Sweden? Did they contact you? Did they hear the rumors?
They actually did the Laugh for last year.
For 2008.
But it was it was approaching the holidays, and
we weren't ready.
We it just wasn't happening. So they asked us again this year. So we were delighted to hear that.
Yeah, we were so surprised. When we all officially decided to announce that we were doing this, we could not believe the response. We're going to Spain in 2 weeks to do Metalway in Zaragoza. We immediately, almost right on the heels of all that, got a call from a promoter in Japan. They want us to do 3 nights in October. Sony wants to reissue the old CDs, which we probably won't do with them because we wouldn't make a dime if we did. But
Right.
we were flattered.
Of course.
It's,
The response has been really overwhelming, and that's the whole reason we're here.
It's sight unseen because they don't know whether we can play anymore or do anything. So that was encouraging. That the idea.
Can they do it?
Well, the idea that they're interested enough to invite us here, just from the idea that it's this lineup.
A lot of the stuff you're playing is very challenging musically. Was it like you had to go back and listen to the albums and try to figure out how you did this?
Yeah, you know what I did? I went back. I took all the old songs, and I found a plug-in for GarageBand that takes the vocals out, So I made a karaoke mix of the entire set on my iPod.
Are you admitting that right now?
Yes. No. I made.
Oh no!
Because I had to start with. First of all, I hadn't sung anything in a very long time, so I had to start with my vocal exercises, my operatic training, for like 3 months before I even tried to sing this stuff. And so so what I would do is I took a karaoke mix of the whole set. I would go into a local studio. I'd plug my iPod into the PA, crank it up, and see if I could sing the songs. And the first time I tried that, I was in tears because I thought I was going to have to call these guys up and say, I'm sorry, the reunion's off. Tony Moore has left the building. But week after week, month after month, and I'm sure everybody has a similar kind of story, we all got back there to the point where when we met in Texas...
We had to get like a songbook.
Yeah, luckily Mike has a
We got like a songbook of like the Riot, like you buy, and then we checked it out, and it was like wrong, wasn't it? A lot of the stuff was wrong, transcribed like
You guys
wrong.
gotta stop drinking because you're admitting way too many things.
But,
No, this is what they want to know, man.
we
Come
burned
on.
the book and we learned it our way, and it was all perfect.
That's right. Because we're great.
Thank you.
I had to put on our videos from 1989 and 90 in Japan. Watch what was Mark doing the high guitar, or was I doing the high guitar? I had no idea. We haven't played these songs in 20 years.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of writing and stuff in between, and it's just I can't remember. I mean,
And I said, when I started going back and listening to The Privilege of Power, I called these guys up. I said, who is that guy who sang on Black Leather and Glittering Steel? Because I can't do that. That was then. Now I think we're going to throw that in Japan. I think we got to do it.
All right. So what was the very first rehearsal like? Was it
Oh, it sucked.
1, 2, 3, go?
It was good.
We
It was
hugged a lot.
good. It was really good.
We hugged each other and welcome. Haven't seen you in so long. Actually, Bobby has been documenting it on video, so maybe we'll have it on the on our webpage.
Yeah.
We couldn't believe it.
But the first rehearsal, Tony, the band started. I think we had 1 or 2 rehearsals without Tony. Tony flew in, and the first day we went through the whole set. I think. Did we miss one? We missed Rock City.
We ran the whole.
We missed one song, but we did the
One song.
And 1 3-hour rehearsal, we ran through the whole entire set. The first
we did
show,
that 4 days in a
first
row.
day.
We did it 4 days in a row. We ran the set, and then we did a show at a club in San Antonio for like 400 people, and it was great. And we're all looking at each other, going, "Holy shit, we can still do this!" So, and these were diehard fans in San Antonio too, because I mean, this is the band's second home. So I mean, it was a good show. It was a good show. We could. I didn't know when I walked into the room if I could still sing this stuff, because I didn't have the kind of results in personal rehearsal that I wanted. But as soon as I had the energy of all these sons of bitches playing behind me, it happened. It happened. And then when we got on stage, it got kicked up a whole nother level.
Yeah.
We're back.
Good.
It's hard to believe, but it's true.
Is it like some of you haven't talked for like almost 20 years, or have you?
Well, me and
kept
Tony
around?
did a record. We started recording in 02 and 03. A band called Faith and Fire. It was just a project that I recorded with Tony and Danny Miranda, the bass player who's been playing with Queen and Blue Oyster Cult, and John Michelli.
Who's Meatloaf's drummer.
For a while, I've been wanting to do something with Tony because I missed playing with him after so long, and through mutual friends, we got back in contact. And then after me and Tony were talking for a while, I always asked him, "What about doing something, coming back to Riot?"
And I always said, yeah, man, if at all possible. I mean, that was the best musical experience of my life.
And then we played in 07. We played somewhere in San Antonio, and DVS was there, Don Van Staven, and I heard him say to Mark, "Hey, how about a little reunion?" And I said, "Well, I talked to Tony. He's in." DVS said he's in. DVS said if all the original members are back, and it was Bobby and everybody said
that was
yeah.
one of the cool things that was, I kind of said in the very beginning, like, I'd love to do it, but I want all the original members, because a lot of bands come out with 1 guy, 2 guys, and it was like, everybody had different things going on in their life, Bobby was playing with a couple different bands. I said, man, it's got to be everybody, Tony, Bobby, Mike, Mark, and everything. So that was real attractive too. And they said, nope, it's everybody. Everybody was in. So I was like, yeah. That made me want to do it. So.
And the good news is that you're working on new material. We had one new track today, and it was a killer.
We literally killer.
You liked it? Wings are for angels.
Wings are for angels.
Yeah. Who wrote that?
Mike and
these
Tony,
guys,
basically.
These guys. Well, yeah, actually.
We all did. I came in with them with a couple of ideas, and then Mark added something, Bobby added something, Don twisted it around, and so I might have had the initial idea, but everybody threw in their 2 cents. It's all of us now.
I have 17 songs on my iPod right now that instrumentally that these guys all wrote, and I only have like 3 of them written lyrically. We chose to do this one just because it came together as a collaboration in rehearsal, and it changed so much from when we very first started it. We didn't think we were going to be able to do it because I had imagined something in my head that I couldn't sing, so I had to change it completely. But over the course of a couple of nights, we all got very excited about it and started to come together. So we have way more material than we need for the next album.
That's another thing about this lineup being together. The chemistry is real cool. So like Mike said, he'll bring something to the table, and everybody will add. Bobby will add Bobby Jarzan back. I'll add me. He'll add him, so it makes it that certain kind of sound.
The other thing about it too is that for the first time, for the longest time, we've kind of been creating music, not really as a band. Where like Mike lives near me, so we would come up with stuff, but then we'd give it to the singer, or and it was never where you had guys in a room, working together, which is the way I prefer it, and that's how we started this writing thing. I went down to Texas, and then Mike came down, and and it works. It yields better results that way.
The thing about it, I mean, what Mark's if I could elaborate on what Mark's saying. A lot of bands do so many things now by internet, sending files, sending
exactly
tape, all that kind of thing. But one thing, I mean, being that this band, the way the band recorded and the way the band wrote songs back when we did Thundersteel and Privilege of Power, was we were all in the same room.
Yeah.
And I think that was an important part of this new record that we're working on and putting these new songs together, is that we wanted to be all in the same room working on the songs together. And I think that's what we'll continue to do.
You get instant results. Like if you get an idea, you can actually see it materialize, with the band. This is going to work, the feel right. So it's real old school, but that's the way we did those records.
Yeah, but it makes a lot more sense because everybody's input is immediate.
Yeah.
If you try something and 4 guys look at you and go, no, that sucked, then you try something else.
It's really the whole thing is developing the song, and when you have, one person brings in a song and you have 4 other guys who you respect so dearly, helping you and aiding you in developing, the results. I mean, sometimes you laugh because you think you've had the idea, and then somebody says, "Hey, try this," and I would have never thought of that. Right. But Bobby J or DVS or Mark or Tony, and Tony came up with this melody that I would never ever come up with for that, and that it's a compilation of everybody's thoughts and ideas.
It's the best results. Hopefully, we can continue that process.
Yeah, it worked for us in the past. It's made the 2 albums that we did the classics that they are, and so we're not going to change the formula.
Will the new album sound like the next album after Privilege, the year after, or will we hear the 20 years between, or almost 20 years?
Yes. and I mean that because it's going to be both ways. On the one hand, it's going to sound like it came right off the heels of the Privilege of Power in terms of the technical capabilities of the band. Yes, we're going to have all of the fireworks that this band is capable of doing, but the writing is also going to embody everything we've been through musically collectively in the last 20 years. So it's going to be a combination of this.
It's obviously going to be more, I don't want to say mature, but seasoned basically over 20 years. Even as a writer,
that's a lot of
personally, I've gained more knowledge musically. So but yeah, so far it's sounding like it has come off the heels of Privilege of Power.
Do you have a title yet, or is it too early?
Too early for that. Yeah.
When will the album come out? Are you signed, or are you looking for a deal right now?
No, we're doing. We're not looking for a deal. As a matter of fact, we are talking with some people, and I don't want to give this away yet because it hasn't been nailed down yet. But we've all agreed to go ahead with a very unconventional way of delivering the music, which is going to presage what's going to be happening in the music industry 5 years down the road. It's going to be a completely novel and unique way of delivering the music to the fans, giving them unprecedented access to the writing process, to the band's thinking, to the band's life. Also, with the ability to do something completely unusual. It's not going to be a traditional album release, but it's going to be the way that music is delivered 5 years from now when nobody buys CDs anymore.
It's a secret right now.
It's a secret. It really is. But this is something that Bobby in particular has been working on through a colleague of his who is working with some very, very high-profile clients to innovate the way music is going to be delivered. And so I'll just give you a preview of one tiny possibility. Say, for example, you go to a website and you see Riot has recorded 23 songs. Well, maybe you don't want to buy the whole album. Maybe you just want to make your unique playlist of 4 or 5 of these songs that you like. You'll have the ability to buy and download those. And if you want it on a CD, you can have it on a physical CD. If not, you can just buy and download them as MP3s. And they're going to be and it's all going to be combined with social networking and some very, very cutting-edge technology. We are very fortunate through some of Bobby's contacts to be working with somebody who's really going to revolutionize music delivery. And we are really counting our lucky stars that we've been invited to be kind of a test case for this. But it's also been done for some major, major brands, whose names I can't divulge either. We're doing something totally different.
Yeah.
So you're doing the festivals now. Will you go on your own tour before the album or right after the album, or haven't you planned anything like that yet?
No, after Spain, after we do Metal Way, main focus is going to be on finishing the writing, recording as much of the stuff as we can before we go to Japan in October. After that, then it's all going to be about getting out the next album. Because when we come back here next year, we want to have, phase 2 recorded and out here.
Well, thank you very much, guys. Good luck with your forthcoming album and the upcoming tours and gigs. It was a blast to see you today.
We'll do our best. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. Yeah.